viewers, good to have you once again. My name is Francisca on Cisca Fabric Arts, and today we'll be learning on how to cut as pencil skirts. Do me well by subscribing to my channel and also turn on your notification bell so you can get notified whenever we post new videos. Thank you very much. So today we'll be working on this measurement. We have a measurement of waist 38. The hip is 44.5, while the skirt length is 29. So in doing so, we'll take the length of our skirts, which is 29. Then we'll subtract 2 inches. That's for the waistband, which means our skirt is supposed to be 27. We'll add folding allowance. Let's say 1.5. One and a half. So which means our total skirt length will now be 28.5. I can as well make it 29 back again for stitching allowances. Okay, so how do we get the required amount of material for the skirt? We'll use the bigger parts of the body, which is the hip. The hip is 44.5. So when we divide it into 4, we'll get 11.25. So this is 11.5. 11.25 plus, of course, 2 inches sewing allowance. So that's how we determine how wide we should open the material, so that you don't waste and you don't undercut. Okay, so let's see if the material is enough to start cutting our skirt. Remember, we've taken the full length. What we need is 29 inches for the full length of the skirt. That's exclusive of the waistband. So we have here 11.25 and 2 inches. So this is just perfect for our skirt. So having done that, I'm going to use my pin to hold to avoid the material from shifting. Now this is the front of the material. So you have to hold it to the skirt, you hold the pin to the skirt. So this is the front of the skirt. So we'll use this front and cut the back. So the front is more important. Okay, so that is done. So our skirt is secured. So now from the waist, we'll determine the hip points, which is an average of 9. Yes, mostly we use 9. And they will also determine the nail length, which is 19. You have to point at these points to enable you shape the skirt effectively. Okay, so now I want to take our hips. So from the middle, which is the enclosed part, is the middle of the skirt. You will take your measurements now. The waist is 38. So when you divide it into 4, it gives you 9.5. So we'll take our skirt 9.5 here, and then I'll just mark them, and then we'll put 2.5 inches allowance. The half inch will be for the darts. We'll put darts on the skirt to avoid that bag around that abdomen, below the abdomen area. So these are our hip points. So now our hip there is 44.5, and when we divide it into 4, we have 11.25. Okay, so from the enclosed point, we take 11.25. 11.25 here. So we'll take 2 inches allowance. Of course, the dart will not extend to the hips, so we don't need that extra half inch. So that's the place there. So to give you that fitedness around the leg, that's why we needed to measure the knee points. We will need to shape in this place little. Normally what I do is I use the waist point, the waist measurement to get the knee area so that it will be very slim. If it's a normal just skirt, not flare per se, you can use your hip to determine the bottom. But for this one, since it's a pencil, I use the waist to determine the hips. But our waist here rather is 9.5. So we just put our normal 2 inches allowance. The same. So we have a total of 11 and a half. The same thing for the bottom. 11 and a half. So we have to mark it. We have to connect these different points. Here to the knee, knee to the hips, hips to the waist. Okay, so let's go. So that's it. You can see the pencil is already appearing now. So because our body is not straight, especially the woman body is not straight, so we cannot keep this place straight. Hence you have bag around your abdomen. The skirt is going to rise, it will not sit well. So what I will do is I will just probably take half an inch out of this place, half an inch here for the middle point, and I will connect it right to the side. My reason for doing so there will be this curviness around the waist, so when you put on the skirt it will sit very well on you. Okay, so I think that's that. Let's cut out now. And we'll cut out. So I've folded another 2/2, which I'm going to use to cut the back part of the skirt. So it's much easier this way now. We don't need any additional calculations because we have our front part. All we need to do is just to place. The only difference is we're going to make it a little wider by either 1 inch or 1.5 inch because of the zip allowance. Okay, so we just place. Okay, the zip allowance comes here. Okay, so I have 1.5 here, 1.5 here, 1.5. So that's okay for the zip allowance. All we need to do is just to follow the line and cut out, and just cut it out. That's that. Okay, so need I remind you that the front part, we reduced the front part by half an inch, but the back, because of the curviness of the box, you have to increase, and let's say a quarter, or let's keep it at 1 inch. We increase the back side by 1 inch because of sewing allowance, and then we connect from this line. So the back has been increased by 1 inch, while the front reduced by half an inch because of the nature of our body, since we are not square. Okay, so what we need to do is to cut it out then, and that's it. So we cut out. So unlike the front, because we need zip at the back, unlike the front, we'll open the center of the back. Open the center of the back so we can insert zip while the front is still enclosed. So after which, I'm just going to measure my waist, my total waist, after sewing completely, and then I will cut out a 2 inches length of material and insert around the waist as my waistband. So that's it for how to cut pencil skirts. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you.